Senator Sunday.
Liberian Senate, Capitol Building, Capitol Hill, Monrovia, Liberia. 20-day sitting, second section, 65th Legislature of the Republic of Liberia. Thursday, May 15, 2025. Agenda or order of business. 1. Call to order. 2. Devotion. 3. Roll call. 4. Reading and adoption of the agenda. 5. Unfinished business. 6. Report from standing committees. A. Report from the Senate Standing Committee on Public Works and Rural Development for the period from January 1st to March 31st, 2025 on road infrastructure projects across Liberia. 7. Business on President's death. A. Communications from the President of the Republic of Liberia on nominations made in government. B. Committee summary reports by each chairperson continues. C. Presentation of certificate of election and other credentials for Senator-elect Honorable Samuel G. Coker of Nima County. D. Report from the Senate Standing Committee on Rules, Order and Administration on the certificate of elections and other credentials for election for Senator-elect Honorable Samuel G. Coker of Nima County. E. Induction of Senator-elect Honorable Samuel G. Coker of Nima County. 8. AOB. 9. Adjournment. Madam President Pro Tempore and Presiding, distinguished senators, the reading of the draft agenda for the 20-day sitting of the second session of the August Valley.
Distinguished colleagues, you've heard the reading of the draft agenda for today's sitting. What is your will and pleasure? Senator Boto Kane.
Pro Tem, distinguished colleagues, I move that the communication just read be open for discussion.
It has been moved and seconded that the agenda just read for today's sitting be open for discussion. Are you ready to vote? All in favor say yea. Against? Agenda is open for discussion. Any intervention? Senator Taylor.
Pro Tem, distinguished colleagues, on the agenda, I'd like to make this intervention with the immediate approval. The order of business on President Destiny. B, C, D, and E precede B. C, D, and E, presentation of certificate of election. D, report from Senate Standing Committee on Rule Order. E, induction of Senator-elect Samuel G. Coker. Precede B, which is committee summary report by each chairperson, should follow after the induction. And under A or B, to get plenary approval to summon the Minister of Labor so that we can conclude on the work permit issue that have lingered before the Senate for the last 4 or 5 months. Under A or B. That's all good.
Thank you, Senator Taylor. With that clear, can we get a motion to adopt the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
We're going to restate it. Are you ready to vote? All in favor say yea. Against? What happened just a second? You know what you do.
No, I'm just wondering we have quorum to proceed. That's all.
Yes. And also, if we are ready to
We're already proceeding.
We're all quorum?
What? That should have been flagged when the agenda was being read. So you're late with that intervention.
That follows the law.
You should have flagged that the agenda was being read and we will have roll call. So senators are coming, we'll have quorum.
So for them, I didn't want to change or make that motion, but I think it's customary that the senator who's seated for any whatever that's coming in receive that person. I see that senator, the Antoine is not here. So we're going to do the induction.
and you complain about traffic.
Yeah. Should we continue go ahead without mechanic senator here?
Well, there's nothing in the rule that says
No, that's the rule. I
that.
said customary. Yeah. I didn't say rule. I said
We
customary.
started at 11 o'clock. I said, the young client knew that we will start the session at 11 o'clock. And so we need an induction today.
Okay.
Yeah. So he
Just
should,
my concern.
in our country should be our host for the induction. So they should wait for us. Secretary of Senate, came out here from country before everybody. We sent for the vice president to be here. Now.
According to intervention.
So I want to know we have induction next.
He has to speak first, and then rule.
Next on the
C,
agenda
D, and E, according to intervention from Senator Taylor. You should do C, D, and E.
So go ahead. Go ahead. Business on President's desk.
Republic of Liberia, the President. Senator Yombly Kanga Lawrence, President pro tempore of the Liberian Senate, Capitol Building, Monrovia, Liberia. Madam President pro tempore, I'm pleased to submit herewith the following nomination, pending Senate confirmation, where applicable for appointment in government. The Minister of Commerce and Industry, Mr. Vani M. Sharif, Assistant Minister for Administration. The Liberia Intellectual Property Office, Ms. Jamus Pinky Banner, Deputy Director General for Industrial Property. I would greatly appreciate if these are given expedited confirmation by the Senate, so as to ensure smooth transition in the government. Kind regards, sincerely, Joseph Newman Barker Sr., President of the Republic of Liberia. The first communication. Republic of Liberia, the President. Senator Yombly Kanga Lawrence, President pro tempore of the Liberian Senate, Capitol Building, Monrovia, Liberia. Madam President pro tempore, I am pleased to submit herewith the following nomination, pending Senate confirmation, where applicable for appointment in government. Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mr. George S. W. Martin Sr., Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary to the Republic of South Africa. I would really appreciate if this is given expedited confirmation by the Senate, so as to ensure smooth transition in the government. Kind regards, sincerely, Joseph Newman Barker Sr., President of the Republic of Liberia. Telecommunication. Republic of Liberia, the President. Senator Yomli Kanga Lawrence, President Pro Tempore of the Liberian Senate. Capitol Building, Monrovia, Liberia. Madam President Pro Tempore, I am pleased to submit herewith the following nominations, pending Senate confirmation where applicable, for appointment in government. National Security Agency, Mr. David W. Ayeba, Inspector General. To Mr. Jared Barcom, Assistant Director for Operations. I would greatly appreciate were it is to be given expedited confirmation by the Senate so as to ensure smooth transition in the government. Kind regards, sincerely, Joseph Newman Pocket, Senior President of the Republic of Liberia. Madam President Pro Tempore and distinguished members of the Senate, the reading of the communication of nomination for the President of the Republic of Liberia.
Distinguished colleagues, you've heard the reading of several communications for nominations from the President of Liberia to various positions in government. What is your will and pleasure? Zero says one.
Madam Chairman, Senators, I move that if I entertain a second, that the communication from the President of Liberia nominating people to various positions in government, communication being received and being given to the various committees as regards to the positions nominated for, and then the committee can report later to the Senate.
Second.
Without restating the motion, are you ready to vote?
Ready.
All in favor say yea. Against?
I said, media, you always have a corridor here for the people to move. Don't sit to the entrance.
Please. Business on President's next. You're welcome. Presentation of certificate of election and other credentials for Senator-elect Honorable Samuel G. Kogan of Limakan.
Some members of the House of Representatives are here in the chamber of the main Senate to see the events in the induction ceremony of Senator-elect Honorable Samuel G. Honorable Musa Hassan Belete is here.
Yes, sir. I remember if there are some other free seats, maybe you can take.
Business of President Dex, presentation of certificate of election, and other credentials. Senator-elect Honorable Justin
Somewhere Gongwe Koga, Senator-elect of Nima County, do hereby present my certificate of election and other credentials to the Secretary of Senate for onward transmission to the Rules, Order, and Administration in accordance with Rule 1, Section 1 and 2 of the adopted standing rules of the Senate of the Republic of Liberia. Thank you.
Distinguished members of the Senate, I have the honor now to present to the Committee on Rules, Order, and Administration certificate of elections and other credentials presented to us by Senator-elect Samuel G. Koga of Nima County.
Senator Public Grants, Chairman Rural Olive, Honorable Benson, officially received his certificate.
So let's get a motion from the floor.
Mr. President of the Senate, distinguished colleagues, having received the credential and certificate of election of Senator-elect Samuel Koga of Nima County, and seeing having been accordingly presented to the Committee on Rule, Order, and Administration, I will move that this plenary entertain a 5-minute break to afford the Committee on Rule and Orders to review the credentials, revert to plenary for the appropriate action for the induction ceremony.
Is that your second? Yes. It's been moved and seconded that the credential presented to the Committee on Rules, Order, and Administration, the committee will give it 5 minutes, after which the committee will come up with a report for this plenary to make a decision. Are you ready to vote? Ready. Those in favor say yeah. Yeah. Against? 5-minute break.
So ladies and normal practice at the Liberian Senate. So the Committee on Rule, Order, and Administration made use of the 5-minute break and showed that to review the credentials of the Senate elect and subsequently returned back after the break to present the committee members are going on. So acting chair of the committee is the chairman of the committee is by Barbara from Kima County, Udo Connors from Bapuru, Bocha from Ribachi.
Yes, I like that.
Yes. And representatives, lawmakers, members of the with respect to the certificate presentation by Senator, and after which the Senator will come back and continue the institution of the Senator. We didn't get to see this kind of ambience, especially when Senator
So this is the junior of Kuga, Samuel Bongo Kuga Jr. Very young, brilliant, and him so little bit. Man, I've been a senator already, yeah. Senator already.
Yeah, but where is it? Where is it? No, where is it?
I've seen a record what's the other part? See records
Yeah, all we doing.
Yeah. So, we are.
chit chat between Senator Ibrahim Star
When I saw him married down, not the speaker, I didn't see my family feeling. You know, for sure, our minority black number. They say, then married down to her, they say, I'm not being there, reject my food, and they able to feel you.
Keep the general chapter. All those people are all in the world. The best one for the 3-4 players of the world. Yeah, you got in general chapter. No, the general player. No, but the step going down to what? No, we're folding the chapter. You know.
Business on President's Desk, reports on the Senate Standing Committee on Rules, Order and Administration on the Certificate of Elections and other credentials for Senator-elect Honorable Samuel G. Koga of Nima County.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, on behalf of the Committee on Rules and Administration, we are pleased to submit to the Secretary of the Senate report on the Certificate of Elections and other credentials submitted by Honorable Samuel J. Koga, Senator-elect of Nima County. Honorable Secretary. Maybe just 5 minutes. Please report from the committee. Thank you.
Mr. President of the Senate, the presiding officer, and President pro tempore, distinguished members of the Senate. The report on the Committee on ROA. Committee's affirmation. The Committee on Rules, Order and Administration, having fully and carefully examined the certificate of election presented to plenary by Honorable Samuel G. Koga, the committee hereby confirms that said certificate of election is genuine and bears the authentic signatures of members of the Board of Commissioners of the National Elections Commission. The committee further confirms that the certificate of election bears the proof and affirmation that Honorable Samuel G. Koga is the declared winner of the senatorial by-election held in Nima County on April 22, 2025. Committee's recommendation. The Committee on Rules, Order and Administration, having confirmed the authenticity of the certificate of election and having fulfilled the requirements of Rule 1, Section 1, hereby recommends that Honorable Samuel Koga be indicted and seated as Senator of Nima in line with Rule 1, Section 2, and Rule 2, Section 1 of the Senate Standing Rules. Done in committee room this 15th day of May 2025. Signed, members of the committee in presence of Senator Dawa M. Papla, member, Senator Bodo Cannon, member, Senator Momo T. Saros, member, Senator Jonathan Boy Charles Sobek, co-chair, and Senator J. Weber Brown, chair. Mr. Presiding Officer.
Thank you. So now the reading of the report from the Committee on Rules on Administration of Matter with pleasure. Then I have him very slow.
Honorable President of the Liberian Senate, presiding officer, distinguished colleagues, having listened to the report from the Committee on Rules, Order and Administration, receiving and accepting the credentials of Senator-elect of Nima County, Dr. Samuel G. Boga, I move that Article 7, that the Senate standing rule regarding the circulation of documents for the 4 hours before adoption be suspended. That the rule be suspended. The report accepted, and the Senate take the necessary action in adopting the second senator of Nima County as a full-fledged member of the Honorable Assembly.
Second.
Every rule and seconded and the Senate rule on 24-hour circulation of documents being suspended for the purpose of adopting the Honorable Samuel Government program to the Senate today. Are you ready to vote? Those in favor say yea. Those against? The Secretary?
Mr. Sergeant, please proceed as stated.
We need to review the trap.
Let's go back. Let's go back. Please go back.
See, they're not pushing it down.
Please fall back. Come over here. I don't know how much you're still there. See after me. Do solemnly swear. Do solemnly swear that I will support. That I will support. Uphold. Protect. Defend the Constitution and laws of the Republic of Liberia. And defend and protect the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia. Bear true faith and allegiance. To the Republic. And will faithfully. Conscientiously. Impartially. Discharge the duties and functions of the office of Senator of Nima County to the best of my ability. So help me God.
Order.
Go ahead.
How do you
I, Samuel Koga,
do solemnly swear
that I will support,
uphold, protect,
and defend the Constitution and laws of the Republic of Liberia,
and protect and defend the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia,
bear true faith and allegiance to the Republic, and will faithfully, conscientiously, and impartially discharge the duties and functions of the office of Senator of Lima County,
and discharge the function of Senator of Lima County
to the best of my ability. So help me God.
So help me God.
Mr. President of the Senate and Presiding Officer, Madam President Pro Tempore and distinguished members of the Senate, the Senator-elect has been duly inducted.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. With that said, we'll ask Senator Yan Twine to please receive the senator and take him to the seat. Those that we Thank you, Senator Twine. When I called the pro tem to make a statement,
let's sit down. Yeah, put the camera down.
The Vice President and President of the Senate, my distinguished colleagues of the Senate and colleagues of the House of Representatives, our guests, family members, chamber staff, members of the Fourth Estate. It is with great pleasure that I, on behalf of the Liberian Senate, welcome Senator Samuel Koga to the House of Senate. Senator Koga, this is the House of Elders. Here, we lead together by respecting the views and opinions of others, regular consultative meetings, and regular reporting by committees, as you are already aware, with a clear and well-defined agenda in the interest of Liberia. We look forward to your smooth transition as we embark on the second session joining in the legislature. We will work with you in the next few days to have you properly positioned on the appropriate committees where your 14 years of legislative experience will be utilized to the benefit of this body. ROA will present all the information needed for your work at the close of today, which will include the Senate rules, the Senate journals for information in your record. Your office will also be assigned with a tour of the Senate, and all the information for you and your staff will be presented. Again, we say congratulations and welcome to the House of Elders. Thank you.
When I call Koga for a statement. His Excellency Jeremiah Kwankum, Bar President and President of the Liberian Senate, Madam Nyongli Kanga Lawrence, President Pro Tem of the Liberian Senate, distinguished colleagues of the 55th Legislature, citizens of the great county of Nima, members of the Full Estate, fellow Liberians, ladies and gentlemen. Please let us stand for a moment of silence for the late Senator Prince Yomi Johnson, former Senator of Amen. Please be seated. To God Almighty be all the glory, honor, and praise. It is by His mercy and divine guidance that I stand before you today, not just as a man, but as a servant of the people. My journey has been one of the faith, perseverance, and unwavering dedication. I am forever grateful to the Almighty for allowing me to reach this historic milestone in my public service journey. Let me extend my deepest and most heartfelt gratitude to the resilient and progressive people of Nima County, Electoral District number 5. In 2011, you believed in me. You entrusted me with responsibility to represent you in the House of Representatives. That decision set a stage for my growth in national leadership. I remain extremely grateful. Your belief in me back then was not misplaced, and your faith today has lifted me ever high. Thank you for your unwavering trust. To my colleagues in this Liberian Senate, I sincerely thank you for the warm welcome. It is a great honor to join this august body, one that plays a pivotal role in shaping the destiny of our nation. I want you to know that my presence here will be nothing short of positive. I am here to contribute constructively, to collaborate honestly, and to represent passionately in the interest of the Republic of Liberia and the people of Nima County. As a proud member of the Movement for Democracy and Reconstruction (NVR), I am fully aware that the task ahead goes beyond party lines. I stand here not just a partisan politician, but as a national leader. I will work with all of you, regardless of political affiliation, because the people of Liberia deserve unity, not division. They deserve progress, not politics as usual. I come to this Senate following the passing of the towering political figure, our former senator and godfather, the late Honorable Prince Yobin Johnson. He was a man whose influence and legacy still echo across our country and the country. The people of Nimba in their overwhelming numbers voted me to carry the torch he once held hard. I do not take that lightly. To the people of Nimba County, I hear you, I see you, I feel your hopes and your expectation. I promise today, with every fiber of my being, that I will never compromise your interests or that of our beloved Liberia for nothing. Nimba deserves better, and I will fight to ensure that better becomes reality. I will not let you down. To my colleagues, let us join hands. Let us unite as patriots and not partisans to push the interests of our people. Let us support the president in realizing his development agenda. Liberia is bigger than all of us, and the time to act in her favor is now. As I officially take on this noble responsibility today, I do so with confidence, not in my own strength, but in the strength of our unity, the power of our people, and the grace of God. I am confident that my presence in this Senate will bring great things to Nimba County and by extension to our beloved Liberia. May God bless all. May God bless Nimba County, and may God bless the Republic of Liberia. Thank you.
So with that, the Honorable Deputy Speaker, I can see that you have escorted your colleague very well. And if you think you want to take a leave, then we can excuse you if you stay here. Then you can sit and enjoy our session. Let's go, buddy, please. Thank you.
Rubber spoon maker, the government spoon maker.
Yes,
At this time, we'd like to welcome the senators on the platform to have a group photo with the incoming senators, Senator Samuel.
We have to congratulate the senator first. Before we go to his seat and congratulate him.
They have to photo.
My brother.
The protest of the president. Just walk. Senator here.
Bibi.
Koga. You welcome us. You welcome us. I welcome you. Look at him there.
All right, we'll proceed with the agenda and do the group photo when the Vice President returns.
Do it?
This is our President's next. The committee summary report by each chairperson.
What did we start last night?
All right.
Senators start from where we stopped. And there were senators who were absent, so we need to consider that.
All right.
You have 5 minutes.
Committee on Lands and Mines.
If they got chat.
Why you want to intimidate me?
Why you want to intimidate me? Give me a talk 35 minutes. And I'm just taking maybe 5 minutes. I'm the shortest because you know that, yeah. Honorable Pro Tempore, distinguished colleagues of the Liberian
Senate, on behalf of the Senate Committee on Lands and Mines, I'm honored to inform you that during our break, we went on a tour, and there are a few things that we saw and we believe as committee members that we need to share with the Liberian people. And our detailed report will be given to you in the space of 1 week for all senators to have copies. As you may be aware, the Ministry of Mines received $4 million under the budgetary allotment, and up to present,
From January to the end of April, they have just received 1,538,641. The Ministry of Mines is encountering a lot of problems, more especially when it comes to the issue of getting funding for their own operations. And we've been speaking on that. Every day we complain on the illicit mining that they are not receiving funding on time to implement their job adequately. The ministry right now wants to establish offices in the 15 counties in Liberia to help to curtail the illicit mining. We want to employ 100 geologists and mining engineers where it will help to effect their work adequately. The Ministry of Mines want to review the mining law of 2015 so that the revision will help to increase revenue. There are a lot of illicit mining all over Liberia, and foreigners have taken over the semi-mechanized mining in Liberia. That's why you find the Chinese all over the place. And per our tour, we realized that rural people are actually supporting the foreigners that are taking all over the mines because there is no livelihood for our people. And no senator will be able to stop that. The only solution is to craft a law that will give the semi-mechanized mining to Liberians exclusively, so that no Class B mining will be done by Liberians like what Ghana did. It will help to improve revenue, income, and to strengthen the economic activities in the rural area. During our visit, we visited the Western Belt, the concessions in the Western Belt. We visited the Bao Chico, the Western Cluster, Liberia Limited, and the B Mountain. During that visit, we realized that the Western Cluster is eventually closed down, stopped all operation, and there is nothing going on. The site is so dormant. So we asked Plenary to see also how we can revisit some of the agreements so that it will be able to work effectively, because when the concessions are signed, it is there to help improve our people's lives. The Joint Committee on Transport, the Joint Committee comprises of transport, concession, lands and mines, hydrocarbon, and labor. During our visit, we realized that Bao Chico is presently trying to construct a seaport for iron ore export in Rossville. But there are a lot of challenges that they are faced with. And so they decided to use an alternative route by exporting their ore through the free port of Monrovia. But what we did see in Bombing County, in Rossville, Montserrat County, the citizens of Bapulu were complaining as to the social development funds. The company, they are not remitting the social development fund to the counties, the affected counties. Since they started. That was one of the complaints we realized. The low employment rate in those concession areas. If you realize, we went to Lee Mountain, and the people of the county, they were complaining When we passed the NBA, there was $100,000 for each claim that should have been remitted, or there should have been an MOU signed to remit that money to the various claims where B Mountain are doing that mining operation. You know, that was plenary decision here to ensure that those people receive that amount. And so they were complaining that that MOU had not been signed. And so we try to work on that while we are presently here at work. The issue that has to do with the chemicals played around, there was no clear information as to how they will stop or mitigate doing our tour. And so those are things that the committee will have to work on while we are back to work. And so we would like to recommend that the payment of the $100,000 be made to each of our claims, and we also like to recommend that the TSF should be visited and that they should construct it more better than what it is. The labor issues, there are challenges all over in all the concessions. Except for B Mountain and Meta, all the concessions in Liberia, if not closed, then very dominant. The Channel Union, slow pace. The Western Cluster, very slow pace. The Hutu and whatever mining concession we have in Liberia, they are on a very slow pace of work. The last thing I want to say here is that lands and mines need to be fully funded if we want to benefit from our natural resources. Fully funded. The lack of manpower to regulate the mines. So you find people from different countries coming and taking the natural resources from the country without no monitoring system. Lands and mines do not have the full capacity to regulate. Even the export of ore in Liberia, we cannot clearly define and tell you as to how much ore that is leaving Liberia because the monitoring system is very poor. Very poor. Most of the concessions, you don't have lands and mines people there to monitor clearly as to what is leaving the country to give you a clear data. We have done that check, and that's the funding. So we ask plenary and protein to help strengthen us to do more and to empower the regulatory arm responsible to monitor the concessions in Liberia to be fully capacitated in this coming budget. Thank you.
Committee on Hydrocarbon, Energy and Environment.
And no disturbance, please. Thank you very much, Madam Pro Tem. So, Secretary of the Senate, please present to the Pro Tem a copy of my summary. Madam Pro Tem, distinguished colleagues, first let me start by thanking the Almighty for bringing us back after a well-deserved vacation. We went home, we met our people, we met the citizens, and today we are happy that we are back. Our summary will be into twofold.
One would be the general political situation, and then the summary of our committee report for the period. I'll be very brief. Madam Pro Tem, again, let me start by thanking you for your leadership. The House amidst, or the Senate, amidst our diversity, our political diversity, maturity and tolerance happens to be the hallmark of the administration and that of our colleagues in the Liberian Senate. The Liberian people look up to us as the House of Elders for the direction of this branch of government. We look forward to your continued support and cooperation as you lead the Liberian Senate. Madam Pro Tem, there are just some housekeeping that we would like for you to please pay attention to during this session. One, the issue of the rule of law. Madam Pro Tem, we still have people suspended from turning positions, and those matters have not been resolved. Some of them were suspended on allegations of corruption, and that there was investigation and audit that would have been conducted. We are far over 1 year, and our fellow citizens remain suspended without benefit, without anything. And I think the Liberian people are looking at the Senate to address some of those issues in the interest of national healing and our oversight, our robust oversight. We just mentioned quite a few. The issue at the LTA continue to linger without any redress to Liberians that have been suspended without benefit, and the audit report have not been addressed yet. The issue at the Governance Commission was flagged by our distinguished colleague from Roberto Brown. I would just like to re-emphasize. The Governance Commission is the heartbeat of our governance structure, and to have ad hoc body there after people were suspended who are acting, I think we need to look at that. We can take the necessary action as a government if we need to be in line with the law and have a proper structure at the Governance Commission. There are other areas, but like I said, I will be brief, so I won't go all over the place. But on Pro Tem, we want to take this time, we'll have flagged the issue in the House of Representatives, but we want to take this time to formally add to the Senate and to you, Madam Pro Tem, to congratulate Speaker Richard Kuhn and our colleagues in the House of Representatives for abiding by the opinion of the Supreme Court in declaring, after receiving the letter of resignation from former Speaker Kofa, declaring vacancy and calling for an election. The unity that was exhibited a few minutes ago during the induction of our colleague, Uncle Samuel Koga, speaks to the maturity of our democracy. And we want to commend you, Madam Pro Tem, for your continued leadership that you continue to exhibit. Madam Pro Tem, let us also look at the justice system. We want to look at the issue of the rule of law again, police brutality, and other things that have happened. We want to send it committee on security to look at it and see how best we can address some of those issues. Some of the issues that we have here have been addressed, education sector and other things by our colleagues. So we will try not to begin the overbearing by going back to all of those things. Before I go to my summary of my committee report, let me just, the family lady privilege the other day, the project accepted, so please allow me to enjoy similar privilege that was enjoyed by a rescue senator. Madam Pro Tem, the need for us not to checkmate the press, but to ask for responsible reporting from the media community cannot be overemphasized. We agree that we are all human and we sometimes take our political direction. But I think politicians should not go under the canopy of journalism and try to misrepresent or direct the public on their reports. 2 nights ago, I was on the popular Spoon Show, and I said something that I would like to reiterate for the benefit of the Senate and the media landscape. There was this issue maybe about 3 weeks ago on Spoon where I said, yes, where I said I wanted this government.
Are you sharing information?
Where I said, you're not the president. Where
Yes,
I said,
we allow all the senators to speak on other issues.
thank you for your fairness.
Please, your protectors.
Where I said, so Chief of Staff, the speaker speaking in what?
Are you going to say that when you put every movie?
One of Stewart no protem, we said that as opposition, I don't think any opposition will say we are praying for a government to succeed itself. And that statement was misconstrued by some people in the political space, and of course the media landscape, as wanting the country to fail, or the government to fail in hardship in the country. That was never my statement. I'm responsible. I want the best for this country, and I want Liberia to prosper. 2 nights ago, I was on the Spoon Network, and the same question came, which I thought was an opportunity to clarify the issue. And I went on to say there was this report where people say, oh, people should die, the country should suffer, and that's not what I said. I wanted Liberia to prosper. A news outlet called DN Liberia doctored my recording, and left the part of where I said, this is not what I said, people said this, and posted it yesterday on Facebook as though I'm so irresponsible, and that was a statement that I made. Immediately when I posted that my lawyers would contact them, they did a retraction and apologized. And then they started calling me, other police here called me, people call me in the media landscape, that I should accept the apology. My lawyer is still reviewing the issue. We do not want the media to see politicians are cracking down on the media, but we respect the media. We expect the media to be responsible. We all know you may have your political interest, but if you have a political interest, come as a politician and express a political interest. Don't go under the umbrella of journalism and try to blackmail people. So 2 of the editors from the DN Liberia called me yesterday to apologize. They did a rebuttal, they did an apology. While one in media, we are responsible people. Say what we said. Don't go and doctor something because you want to satisfy a particular political class. That information went viral. People from the region were calling me, my colleagues were calling me, my family were calling me, and that, when I approached them, that does not represent me. We have our diversity here. We joke each other, we laugh, we do things, but I don't think anybody, not to say me, will want evil for this country, or for this country not to prosper. I want to make that point clear today, and I'm happy the media is covering it. DN Liberia, they called yesterday, they apologized, they did a rebuttal, and I will consult with my lawyer if we should pursue further action or let it be. But I'm asking the press to remain responsible. Take your political side as an individual, but when you use a nomenclature as journalists, be responsible. It was very irresponsible of DN Liberia, and I don't think it's fair to the political and the media landscape of our country. On the briefing of the committee, I want to say thank you for the support that we continue to receive from you and our colleagues in the Senate. The Committee on Land and the Committee on Hydrocarbon, Energy and Environment continue to engage land ministries and agencies of which we have oversight. We have enjoyed a fair level of cooperation from the National Oil Company. They've been briefing us on prospects that they are making regarding engagement with the oil sector, the oil and gas sector. We expect more information from them. There are issues that have come to our attention. Discussion with the National Petroleum Company of Nigeria, NNPC. They are ongoing. The committee is not being informed about that yet. We'll follow up on it. We want to also say LEC, we had an informal conversation with the Managing Director Designate. The committee will be meeting him today again before that letter is being placed on the floor to conduct a confirmation. So far, it's not there yet, but we think the glass is half full as regards the distribution of electricity around the country. We're not where we should be many years after our civil crisis, but the committee will continue to engage the LEC management for improvement. We also want to thank the Environmental Protection Agency. There was a workshop conducted in Rambassa County, and my program, as usual, our colleagues who attended that workshop spoke of your regular and usual hospitality. We look forward to a continued renewed relationship with the EPA. EPA means a lot for our country. There are a lot of environmental issues that need to be looked at, and we'll continue to work with the EPA and other land ministries and agencies in the discharge of our duty. Again, Madam Pro Tem, we want to thank you for your oversight. We want to thank our colleagues in the Liberian Senate, especially those of you from the rescue mission. Because many times we come here, we throw jabs at you, we joke with you and all of that, and we take it in a democratic space, very mature democratic space. We hope that the Liberian population will learn from the Liberian Senate as regards political maturity. Again, Madam Pro Tem, I want to thank you for this time, and we'll do a formal report to the Liberian Senate on our stewardship of the Committee on Hydrocarbon, Energy and Environment. Again, before I take my seat, let me formally congratulate again my colleague, Senator Samuel Koga, who has served with 2.5 terms in the House of Representatives, who have formally joined us today as a member of the Liberian Senate. Thank you, Madam Pro Tem.
Thank you, Senator.
The committee chair on banking and currency.
You sure I saw that report, Chairman?
You are President of Koga.
I'm very wondering for me to know that report.
Before I commence, to prevent any reporter from submitting a copy of the committee report, please pass on to Madam Pro Tem information. Kind of close the door. Madam Pro Tempore of the Liberian Senate, please accept my heartfelt compliment and felicitation from me as the chairman of this committee to the legislature. This committee is comprised of 9 strong men and a woman who are well experienced in carrying on legislative oversight. During the period under review, we were able to make some achievements. But before delving into the report, let me join others by way of information. The European Union has informed the Senate through the Agriculture Committee that you have close to 30,000 to 60,000 Burkinabe in this country, in the southeastern part of Liberia, working under the canopy of agriculture or farming. You brought this to our attention so that we can pay much attention to it, because the deforestation process and the way they are farming, if not checked, it will lead to business risk for our products in the area of cocoa and coffee, except for local country and other countries that are not involved with deforestation. With respect to the substantive work of the committee has been able to oversee the passage into law of one legislation or one act, which is the Banking Financial Institutions and Holding Companies Act to the legislature, which was submitted last year. That bill has not been passed into law. There are other achievements with the IMF in the banking sector. We also have the central bank was able to launch on March 31st, 2025. The Central Bank of Liberia launched its financial education and literacy program and Pan-African Payment System education, which will now help Liberians to go across border without carrying physical cash on them. You just go with your information, and when you get there, it will be available to you to purchase your goods and come back to the country. Also, from the period under review, the Senate Committee on Banking and Currency has played a pivotal role in shaping Liberia's financial landscape through legislative reviews, oversight functions, and strategic planning. The committee has contributed to the country's economic stability and growth through the supervision of the banking sector. During the period under review, we were also able to do confirmation of the bank officials, especially the executive governor and his deputy. We have had hearing for the board members awaiting confirmation, which coincide with our break. So you also have, as stated earlier, we have passed one bill, but now there's a proposed bill in committee room from the Senator of Riverside County, who is also chairman of agriculture. As a due diligence process, we submitted that act to the central bank for its opinion, because eventually they will be the operators when that act takes effect. The CBO has returned its opinion to the committee, which will be shared with the Committee on Banking based on checkpoints. Also, the Central Bank was able to meet this statutory deadline for February to be able to address the committee of the legislature. During the February 28th hearing, the governor of the central bank updated the banking committee on our chairmanship on the economy and financial sector in keeping with Part 2, Section 4.3 of the amended CBL Act. He noted that the economic activity remains strong. Real GDP growth was projected at 4.8% from 2024, down from projected 5.15. Inflation peaked at 10.2% earlier this year, but eased to 8.2% in November due to stable food prices and a stable exchange rate view. The banking sector is stable, but challenges remain with 3 commercial banks, and non-performing loans ratio is 21.4%. The recent account deficit, which widened to 26.3% of GDP in 2023, is improving thanks to higher gold prices and increased remittances, although gross international reserves have improved to 2.8 months of imports. The largest is 3.3 of imports. In response to recommendation from the General Auditing Commission, GAC, in the CBA compliance audit released last year, the governor announced a new policy to enhance operational efficiency. Effective immediately, according to the executive governor, cash transactions over the counter will be limited to USD 25,000 for designated employees, with individual transaction capped at 5,000. Thank you. Thank you for your memory. This policy prevents multiple check cashing over the counter on the same day.
A summary?
Yeah. Before that, you were speaking about how the journalists met you. That was Johnny will chase you again. Before that, the governor also informed the Senate Committee on the efforts in process to submit a new insurance act to take the insurance out of the CBL and make it autonomous. Distinguished colleagues, let me thank you for your attention and the protocol for the commission. That is summary of the report of the Committee of Banking and Currency. Copy will be available for members of the committee.
Committee Chair on the Joint Legislative Mobilization. Committee Chair, Joint Legislative Mobilization.
Madam Pro Tem, distinguished colleagues, let me begin by welcoming again my colleague from Limba County, distinguished Senator Samuel Koga, who will be an additional voice of Limba County on the floor of the Liberian Senate. Welcome, distinguished colleague. The activities of modernization for the period under review were very limited because we have made a comprehensive report right before our departure for break. We would like to begin by reminding you again that the website that was established is not utilized. We are not receiving materials from senators to be posted. We haven't received links to your website and social media profile to link that with your website. I think I don't know whether Mustafa is here. We have some really gifted technical staff who are willing to do that to showcase your work. And so we call upon you to make use of the website. It is functional, it is there. We are waiting you to give us information to upload so that we can enrich the content of the website. In relation with the Pro Tem's office, you have received emails. And we're going to be working email accounts of each senator. We'll work with the Pro Tem in this section to have a cutoff point for using your private emails to send email, government-related emails.
It is not safe for you, it is not safe for the government, for us to be sending emails that are not sanctioned by the government of Liberia or the Liberian Senate. So the chair on the Senate Intelligence and Defense, I think by now has taken seeds of all those emails, but will be forwarding them to him officially this session in collaboration with the consultant that was hired by the Pro Tem office, and the committee will sit, will vet those email addresses, and within the next couple of maybe weeks or months, we can now be able to say, you know, in communicating with senators and other government apparatus, we should be able to use those emails so that we can be on the safe side. We got Starlink in the building. It is both on your floor and in the Senate chamber. You can contact the technicians there if you are not yet logged in, so that they can log in your mobile devices and other devices that you have, and to also, you know, connect your office, so that as soon as you move in your office, it gets connected. When you're here, it gets connected. We are paying a hefty amount for that service, and we require you people to please utilize it, because it's a flat rate. Whether we use it or not, by the end of the month, we have to pay, and it's a very good system. But the problem we are having now, Madam Pro Tem, is that even after working hours, we are still seeing the system fully loaded. So we are about to do an audit to see how best we can do password reconfiguration. Just a few people that have gotten password, we want you to submit a list of people that will have access to the system. It will have the entire Capitol grounds making use of the system, and it will slow it down. So we did a dry run overnight, around about 8, 9 o'clock, when we knew that maybe only security people were going to be here. And we saw 144 people still on the system. So that is yeah, so that is something that we'll have to look at. And we're going to sit with them probably tomorrow or early next week on Monday to see how we can reconfigure the password, and then we can solve that problem. That is persisting. We are not able yet to do public hearings because, you know, Madam Pro Tem, let me say here, we are in the Senate chamber, so I can say the Internal Budget Committee, we have placed some money in the budget for both reform and the public hearing on the new Capitol, but to our utmost surprise, it came up short. And as a member of the Ways and Means Committee, you know, that comes as a surprise to me. Yeah, Mr. Chairman. So it's something that we'll not be able to do this year unless maybe we find some resources from our partners, because we needed to have some public hearings concerning the new Capitol and other reform issues. Basically, that we are working along with a host of international organizations. They are willing to help us to do a lot of reform work. And we'll be writing you people officially to let you people know the time and date they want to have these meetings with us. We lost one of those meetings in recent time when I posted that they needed a study tour of senators to go to the parliament in Sierra Leone. And for 5 days, I didn't receive any response from any senator who wanted to be on that tour, and then we have to cancel. And so, if they are coming in to help us with logistics and resources, I think they want some commitment, beginning with, you know, some, you know, policy learning tour in the region as well. Not because it was Sierra Leone, I guess if it were other countries, maybe they were going to be. Okay, on other issues, Madam Pro Tem, we want, about a few months ago, Senator Johnson and I stood here, we reiterated something from the chat. I just want to give, to let you know that the NEMA Legislative Caucus is adopting a stance on the upcoming renewal of the AML agreement. It will interest you, Madam Pro Tem and distinguished colleagues, that up to now, the government negotiating team has not even contacted a single member of the caucus.
That's for sure.
A single member. And we all know how concession work. When the concession agreements are sent here, and I'm saying it so that the public can know, we either agree or we disagree. We cannot amend, we cannot even cross a T or dot an I. And so when we are not involved in the making of it, it becomes very difficult. When you call the ministries concerned and the investment commission, they will tell you the president of Liberia will send it to you people. And we think that instead of us bickering over agreements here, they should be able to at least give us the courtesy. The three counties, Nimba, Bong, and Basso, specifically we from Nimba, we are in the most affected areas. And if we are involved with some of these things, at least we'll be able to give our contribution. And we are not just talking politics, we're talking resource people who are resourceful to bring some, good content to the agreement that, will make it to land smoothly, and they are not doing it. And so we are adopting a position, Madam President and distinguished colleagues, that we will be boycotting, we will be carrying on a non-compliant posture if any agreement comes here without, our input some way, somehow.
We'll take our own time to handle it.
We will do that, and we'll be on record for that. We know we could be outnumbered, but this is a very serious issue. We agree, because there are issues that are left at the whims and caprice of the concessionaires to do or not to do based on social corporate responsibility. I mean, I think those are issues that are supposed to be part of our agenda item within the MDA for forceful and compulsory implementation. And so we are appealing to this body through you, Madam Pro Tem, for our Senate colleagues to please stand with us on this matter. And the resources that Mita is taking away from this country is for every one of us. And if they have 4 or whatever more years left, and I can always say, let's just say thank you very much. The agreement is over, you can go and leave our mind. And then we can find another person to do it the way we want it. Instead of us even being the one trying to, renegotiate. And Mita is not forced to be here. EMA is not forced to be here. There will be other mining companies. There's a story, finally, that, one of their CEOs, look the president in the eye and say, 15 years of investment, and we are not getting profit from the mines in Liberia. And the president asked him a simple question at the end of the meeting. Then why are you staying in Liberia all the years if you are not making profit? The same thing people used to say, I was born in the country knowing that rubber it can make money. But we still got people here tapping our rubber. These are strategies they use, to weaken our position when it comes to negotiation. So we ask the Senate to please stand with us that the interministerial committee on this negotiation please deals with the 3 counties. Let us document some of these things as compliant issue in the MDA instead of leaving it with social corporate responsibility, whereby if we want to, we do it. If we don't want to, that we get excuse that how we've been, this year, this quarter will drop, the international market is plunging, so we can't make it. And that's what they always do. There have not been anything on a social corporate responsibility that these people have really done. For example, the hospital, in Sekimba. They were supposed to build that hospital. They are claiming that they have spent $2.5 million on that hospital. I'm going to send journalists there to take the picture of the $2.5 million they have spent in collaboration with this. People will come to tears if they see a $2.5 million structure. So those are some of the things we want to correct. And thank you for the time. The modernization committee is healthy, and we are willing to work in collaboration with your office. Thank you for lending us all of the time. I think we almost depleted your budget on technological advancement. So thank you so much for always lending us. One day we'll pay you back. Thank you.
All right, before the next speaker, I just want to say that at the Buchanan retreat, one of the agenda items was to talk about the management of our natural resources for the benefit of the counties and the country. Since we got back, the Committee on Concession has been working very hard to present a proposal, and that's why they want me pro tem award for this session. That proposal is ready. We're waiting for Senator Party Court to be here. We have a consultative meeting that might or should lead to another retreat as soon as possible before those reviews come before us, so we can make some real decisions about the management of our resources. So we take note and we'll make sure that it's a strong agenda for the Sunday in the next few weeks.
And put them, please include the committee on mine because it has to do with money.
To manage the resources, concession will present that, but everybody will get involved. We can have the conversation in the consultative meeting. So Ways, Means and Finance, just be prepared that the Senate might have a retreat as soon as possible.
Committee Chair on Public Corporations.
Is that no paper? Thank you. Public Corporation.
Yeah, you. I'm pro tem and distinguished members of the Honorable Senate Committee on Public Corporations took interest in two key issues. One, bordering on corporate governance of public corporations. That emanated from the budget process. During the budget process, it was established that some of the public corporations, if not all of them, failed to meet up with the assessment as made in the previous budget by the legislature. They were given quota to contribute to the national revenue envelope, and they failed to do so, thereby resulting in a revenue shortfall. Thank you, Mr. President of the Senate. So we took key note of that, and also besides, it was established that public corporations were not remitting withholding taxes to the consolidated fund account. It was also established that public corporations were not willing to contribute to the national budget process or the national revenue envelope as the legislature was requesting them to do so. On account of all of that, we thought to review the budget, the spending priorities, the revenue envelope. We had several meetings, and in the end we requested key documents from the public corporations on our website to include their initial budget, the work plan, performance report, comparing that to what was initially targeted at the beginning of the period. And that reporting period was for January to March 31st. We served all of the letters. While we were on break, they were to submit those reports for our review, and then subsequent discussion with them. Whatever outcome obtained, we going to effectively brief the plenary or leadership. We intend to ensure that these institutions are managed in a way that they contribute to the overall government revenue generation of the country, so that this legislature can have a bigger revenue space to contribute to some of the development priorities that we are confronted with during the time of budgeting. So as I indicated, we will keep engaged with them, and subsequently we will make report to this plenary or to leadership. The other issue we took keen interest in has to do with the petroleum sector. We realized that every month, after a period of time, there's a price circular issue indicating the different petroleum, the prices for the different petroleum products. If you review that pricing structure, you will see almost 18 or 19 different elements that sum up to the bulk figure that is announced. The way and manner in which some of the charges are derived, we have reservation in terms of the authority, because as I say, if you look at the pricing structure, some of the charges are as a result of legislation, either by this legislature or by other laws legislated. So we have serious reservation because it carries the weight of a tax, and the way the decisions are made by one or two persons in the cycle of the executive branch of government, and it's passed down through announcements, and then all of us, the entire country, we have to bear that burden. We think it's important for us to review and to be more transparent when it comes to deriving petroleum prices. So those are the two key issues that we were looking at, we are still looking at, because it takes a lot of time. We had meetings with the Importers Association, with LPRC and other actors, experts in the sector. Sometimes it's difficult. We still have a list of other stakeholders and institutions that we have to talk to. But sometimes on the basis of schedule variance, and sometimes some individuals travel, so it made it difficult for us to conclude the exercise. Once we are back, we resume our activities and ensure that we bring the process of finality and subsequently make our report. Thank you.
Committee Chair on Public Accounts and Audits.
I didn't hear him.
Thank you very much, Mr. President of the Liberian Senate, distinguished colleagues. I'm pleased to provide this update on behalf of my distinguished committee members of the Public Accounts Committee on our activities and initiatives to strengthen transparency, accountability, and citizen engagement in public financial management. But first, I want to sincerely thank the President Pro Tempore of the Liberian Senate for her support to the committee, and all my colleagues for the trust they have put in me to chair the committee. I appreciate your invaluable contribution. The institutional knowledge that you bring to the discussion has kept our work honest and complying with our constitutional oversight responsibilities. During the period under review, we had a conference with all of our integrity institutions that include the General Auditing Commission, the Public Procurement and Concession Commission, the Liberian Anti-Corruption Commission, the Financial Intelligence Agency, among others. I'm pleased to report that the committee, after receiving their presentations on their activities and budget execution, is pleased to report to this body that our integrity institutions are on the right path of doing their job consistent with our laws. The PAC, during the period under review, also received the consolidated report from the Secretariat of the Joint Public Accounts Committee on 12 audit reports the GAC completed and published for various institutions during the regime of the Coalition for Democratic Change government. These hearings thoroughly examined audit reports, reviewed critical findings, and set the stage for robust public financial management reform. The PAC during this period has reviewed the report, made recommendations for the retreat that will be held to validate the report. A meeting is scheduled next week to accomplish that task before we go to the retreat, after which the final report will be presented to this body for onward endorsement or amendment before submitting it to the President for action. During the period under review, the PAC also worked with the Ministry of Finance to understand the consolidated account balances as they finalized the report for submission to the committee for review. I'm in touch with the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning, and as soon as the provided report, we'll make copies available to the committee members. The General Auditing Commission has submitted during the period under review 17 new audit reports to the PAC. The committee is meeting, has reviewed the report, and is meeting next week to agree on the roadmap for public hearings as we allow our colleagues in the lower house, after they settle their disputes, to get organized before we can do the joint hearing. During the period under review, we participated in the launching of the governance support program called the GREAT Program by the World Bank through the Ministry of Finance. It's a program that we actively participated in along with the Ministry of Finance to mobilize resources for the work of the Joint Secretariat of the PAC that will include improving public hearings, including the translation or the transcription equipment, so that consolidated reports are written faster and made available to the committee for endorsement. Finally, the committee also reached a framework understanding with the GSM companies in Liberia to help disseminate future public hearings to rural Liberia, when we hold such hearings. So, Mr. Presiding, that is the brief summary of our work. Again, I would like to join others to welcome our distinguished colleague from Niba County, Samuel Koga, to the Honorable Liberian Senate. And I want to rejoin Senator Snow about this media thing. Some media reported yesterday that I I'm calling for the resignation of President Boakai. And if he does not resign, I will not contest for my Senate seat in 2029. Let me make it clear. I did not say that. I did not hold any press conference or discussion with any media. I was in the Babalu Forest for the past 14 days, working with my constituents on issues there. I just came to Monrovia last night. I was elected to this body in 2023. The next time I will go back to my people to re-elect me is 2033, not 2029. So I wouldn't have made that statement. Thank you.
It's a tradition whenever this happens to
Everyone committee reporting? Yes, sir.
Consider the achievement of what has been the challenges.
Mr. President of the Senate, thank you very much. Madam President, distinguished colleagues. The President of the Senate, who are you working on? The President of the Senate, we are pleased to inform this body that the Liberian delegation of the ECOWAS Parliament remain committed to the democratic tenets of our country. And we want to take this time to thank the leadership of the country for its full participation in ECOWAS activities. We want to inform you that Liberia to date, on a month-to-month basis, is current with the payment of ECOWAS levy. There were arrears from the past, and Liberia, they are trying now. And Liberia has signed an MOU with ECOWAS to pay against the arrears that were accumulated from the past. But to date, Liberia is current, and we want to thank the Liberian government we want to thank the Liberian government for rescuing Liberia at ECOWAS. Very satisfied. Thank you. We also want to inform you that 2 weeks ago, thanks to Chairman Darius DeLong and the Foreign Committee that follow up with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, ECOWAS sent a delegation here 2 weeks ago to work with Liberia in the possibility of hosting an ECOWAS institution in Liberia. Those positions are heavily contested. Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire, Benin, Senegal, Guinea-Bissau has put in very impressive bid. But there are more than one institution. So Liberia's biggest argument at this point is that Liberia is the only ECOWAS member state that is now hosting an ECOWAS institution. And we are going to continue to make that case, and we'll make the case at the upcoming ordinary session of the ECOWAS Parliament. But we are also pleased to inform you that on yesterday, we formally communicated with the leadership of the ECOWAS Parliament that the impasse in the House of Representatives has been resolved, and that the House has elected Mr. Richard Kuhn, Honorable Richard Kuhn, as Speaker of the House of Representatives. The Parliament will be doing a formal letter of congratulations to him, and the Speaker has informed me that in the month of June, that they will organize a team to have a delocalized meeting here under the leadership of both the Pro Tem and the Speaker in buttressing the progress made in our efforts. Lastly, Mr.
President of the Senate, distinguished colleagues. As you know, Liberia is the sole candidate for the United Nations seat of ECOWAS. ECOWAS have endorsed Liberia's candidacy, and Liberia has the full support of ECOWAS. No individual person or member can take away, because ECOWAS will be voting as a bloc, and Liberia enjoys that bloc vote from ECOWAS. And ECOWAS want to wish Liberia well. We all want to join the Foreign Ministry and our colleagues in the entire government who has pushed that bid forward. And we hope that Liberia in the next few weeks will be elected or to occupy the seat at the United Nations Security Council. Again, Mr. President of the Senate, we will thank you. We'll be departing the country later in this weekend or early next week for the first ordinary session of the ECOWAS Parliament, and we shall inform the Parliament in person of the progress that has been made in the legislature. And we want to thank the leadership of the Liberian Senate for the role that we play in ensuring that the crisis or the impasse will be resolved, and we recognize fully the leadership of Speaker Richard Nangwe-Kun as the Speaker of the House of Representatives. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm trying.
I got the agenda as a cluster, right?
No, one more issue.
AOB?
No.
Report from the Senate Committee.
Is you there? Yes. That's it, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Report from the Senate Committee. Report from the Senate Committee on Public Works and Rural Development for the period January 1 to March 31, 2025 on road infrastructure projects across Liberia. The Liberian Senate. Report of the Senate Committee on Public Works for the period January 1 to March 31, 2025 on road infrastructure projects across Liberia, submitted to the plenary of the Liberian Senate on May 13, 2025 and distributed to all offices of senators. Background.
No, we really, they will
in March 2025. In March, yes, everything's happening.
Okay, is that a preliminary document? No. Oh, it is.
No. In March 2025, the Committee on Public Works requested the following information from the Ministry of Public Works and Rural Development in order to prepare its report to plenary for the first quarter of 2025, namely 1. Total length of paved and unpaved roads, 2. List of GOL and donor-funded ongoing and new road projects, 3. List of planned road projects, 4. The status of Chinese overpass, Bali Island, and other related infrastructure projects, 5. Planned road concession projects and other negotiation, 5 and 6. Deteriorated infrastructure in Central Monrovia, and 7. Information on any other roads and bridges infrastructure projects. The ministry submitted the requested information by the middle of March. An update was subsequently requested by the committee at the end of April. which was also supplied by the ministry, especially as the end of the dry season was approaching. The committee also had discussions with the management of the National Road Fund on its work. A summary of that discussion is also presented in this report. 1.0, update on current road works. A summary of ongoing, new and planned roads and bridges work, submitted by the Minister of Public Works, is presented in an annex to this report. We request our colleagues to go through the attached matrix A for verification purpose. 2.0, discussions and findings. The total length of roads across the country, urban and non-urban, is approximately 13,000 kilometers. Of this number, total length of paved roads as of the end of December 2024 is 1,212 kilometers. The total length of unpaved road is approximately 11,788 kilometers. Using an average conservative figure of US $600,000 to US $750,000 per kilometer for asphalt pavement, it will require a minimum approximately US $7 billion to pave the above road length with asphalt or concrete. While some progress has been made over the years since the end of the civil crisis by successive governments, road infrastructure development still presents a significant challenge across the country. Movement on unpaved lateral roads during the rainy season still remain problematic for most parts of the country, especially on secondary and farm-to-market roads. Log bridges on most of our internal county roads also present hindrance to vehicular movement. Some of the road contractors hired by the Ministry of Public Works are not up to the task. An example is a contractor hired to maintain the lateral road corridor from Fleetwood in Maryland County to Barkerville in Grand Creek County. We believe they have other underperforming contractors on other road corridors. The government's planned road equipment, yellow machines, purchased for all counties will help to maintain secondary and farm-to-market roads. We have been informed by the management of the National Road Fund that it is embarking on a nationwide assessment of major road corridors to ascertain performance of contractors to which they make payments. This is a welcome initiative as it will complement the evaluation duties of the Ministry of Public Works to justify payments to road contractors for works. The National Road Fund is also planning some reforms to improve road governance and increase the road fund envelope. This includes plans to review the National Road Fund Act. 3.0 recommendations. There should be improved governance in the management of the National Road Fund so that funds earmarked for the fund should go directly to an escrow account from collecting sources instead of passing through the GOL consolidated fund accounts at the Central Bank of Liberia. 2. The Ministry of Public Works should continuously evaluate the work of its hired road contractors and terminate non-performing contracts. 3. Besides the National Road Fund collection, government, that is the executive and legislature, should make significant annual budgetary appropriations for the pavement of roads across the country. 4. Funds have been placed in the 2025 national budget for road equipment. The executive should therefore hasten the procurement process for the yellow machines for the counties. And 5. Government should institute a huge external and domestic borrowing program to pave a significant portion of the approximately 12,000 kilometers of lateral roads across the country. Done in committee room this 12th day of May 18, 2025. Signed, members of the committee in person of Senator Francis S. Doku II, member. Senator James P. Bannon, member. Senator Momo T. Saros, member. Senator Bodo Kane, member. Senator Simeon Boydman Taylor, member. Senator Nathaniel F. Magill, member. Senator Edwin Melvin Snow, vice chair, and Senator Albert T. Chair. Attached, Annex 1, of the information requested for the first quarter of 2025, submitted by the Ministry of Public Works and Rural Development. Mr. President of the Senate, honorable members of this esteemed body, the reading of the report of the Senate Committee on Public Works, with annex attached from the Ministry of Public Works and Rural Development, that has been submitted to all members of the Senate as per our returns.
The President of the Senate and distinguished colleagues, I would suggest that it is very important information that all of the senators review the report properly, and then on Tuesday we can have the debate.
That was a suggestion from the media side. Okay.
Because the annex is so important from public works. It talks about road works in all the counties. So it's important that our police go through it to see the status, what progress is saying, whether that's the reality on the ground. So it's important that we carry movement and take a look at it.
Okay. So I got a motion from Senator Brown. What is the motion?
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, we have just listened to the reading of a report from the Committee on Public Works. By this motion, we want to thank that, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee, and based on the pro tem's suggestion and the fact that this sector is very critical, we want to move that this report, debate on this report be deferred to next Tuesday, that it should be placed on the agenda so that plenary can adequately discuss and debate this report. I so move.
Can we move and second that and the report be placed on the agenda for next Tuesday for debate? Are you ready to vote?
Ready.
Those in favor say yea.
Yeah.
Those against? It'll be.
Thank you, Mr. President, Mr. Vice President, President of the Senate, distinguished colleagues. I just wanted to make a request on plenary authority to someone here, the Minister of Labor, to bring us the work permit and the category to know why he gave certain categories of jobs to non-Liberians, jobs that Liberians are qualified for and available to do. It's gone to 6 months, Mr. Vice President, Mr. President of the Senate, distinguished colleagues. It's going to 6 months. Mr. President of the Senate, we will not pass concession. The concessions will provide 500 jobs, 1,000 jobs, and then we get 300, 500 of the job up for work permit. In fact, we have not provided job for our people. The Minister of Labor should be made to appear here to tell us why driving heavy-duty machine at some of these concession areas are making $600 when non-Liberian driving and operating the same heavy-duty machine, working on the same work time, are taking $6,000 and $3,000 US dollars. Mr. President, the Senate, distinguished colleagues, the legislature, we passed a vehicle and traffic law. We are not the ones who should enforce the law. But when there's traffic, in vehicular traffic, the people have the tendency to ask, what is lawmaker are doing? We can go direct traffic. All I'm trying to relate here is, when our people say we care here for ourselves, we are creating the avenue to provide jobs, private sector jobs to our people. The legislature has deliberately acted. When we pass concessions, when we create the environment, then in a decent work law, we said the labor minister must not give certain category of jobs. If we sit down here and the executive, through the labor ministry, giving all those very jobs, who can blame our people? So, Mr. President of the Senate, my distinguished colleagues, let's see a logical conclusion to this matter, because there are almost 9,000 work permits out. Imagine if you gave one Liberian who is making $2,000 a month from one of those work permits. That Liberian will pay taxes. It will cover that $1,000 that is charged for work permit for the whole year. When you enter some of these stores and some of these business places, they get accountants, non-Liberians. Drivers, non-Liberians. Managers, non-Liberians. Almost 9,000 work permit. Give 5,000 of that work permit or job to Liberians, qualified Liberians, who will be taking $2,000 to $3,000 every month. See what happens to the economy too. I rest my case. I'm asking plenary to take that as a decision. Let some of this minister, let him come with all the regulation people so we can handle this matter to bring some job relief to our people. That's all it.
Thank you, President. Just to give you some information that the President has written the Minister of Labor on similar issues he has spoken about. And so the President has given some serious instruction. But the Senate can still call him, and maybe he will come and explain. Madam President.
So I think the committee has done a lot of work on that, and a report was presented, and the final stage was to have the Minister of Labor here for that hearing. So I would suggest that the Secretary of the Senate inform the Minister of Labor again. I think that will be the fourth communication to appear here on next week Tuesday, if we reach the approval of the body, for us to conclude on that matter. I think some of the information from coordination were able to inform the President about the Senate's concern with this. So I think that's why but we want to conclude on this matter, so we make sure it's documented and our recommendations are sent to the executive.
Can we get any motion?
Mr. President of the Senate, distinguished colleagues, Mr. President, having listened to Senator Darius Dillon of Montserrat County expressing the concern about creating jobs for our citizens, and after repeated invitation sent to the Minister of Labor to go to the Senate this matter, I move that continue a second that the Minister of Labor be cited on Tuesday with the Committee of the Whole plenary to give us in full detail on work permit category and nationality issued
Ministry of Labor to non-Liberians within our due process.
Second. It's been moved and seconded that the Minister of Labor be made to appear before the Supreme Constitutional Secretary, whole committee, on Tuesday. Are you ready to vote?
Ready.
Those in favor say yea.
Yeah.
Those against. Any other